Hello, and welcome to another episode of Game Talk. My name is Trent, and today we're going to be talking about a pirate themed MMO. Normally, I do reviews about games that I like, but today I want to talk about designing my own game. Um, so, first of all, I picked pirates because we haven't really had a really good pirate game in a very long time. I know Sea of Thieves came out about 2 years ago, but that has had some very mixed reviews and it's not all good. So here I'm using Gimp, and I made this little map real quick using Wonderdraft. It's a really good program. You can just make maps. I'll have a link to those programs in the description, but let's get into it. So first of all, for this pirate game, I wanted to make it a little bit like Eve. So the players are the pirates in the game. So there's no other pirates except for the players. So the players go around and they do pirate themed things in the world. So in this map, I would also like to add in a few other NPCs into the game to help the world feel alive. Because most games they have the world revolve around the player, like in like World of Warcraft, where the player is like the chosen hero and whatever they do affects the outcome of the world. But in this pirate game, I want the world to be self-sustaining on its own, and the players are just dropped in, and then they interact with the world. And even if the players log off, the world will still continue on its own. So as you can see here, these little black lines connecting to the little black circles, those are going to be like major port towns. Where NPCs and have different markets, and NPCs are going to be selling and trading, and you're going to be looking for unique resources, and I'll get to more on resources later. The purple dots are going to be like little safe havens for the pirates. So all the players, that's where you're going to be wanting to be going to your safe haven. The red stars with the red lines, those are going to be the navy. Um, so the navy is pretty much going against the players. So whenever you see like a navy ship in the water and they see a player ship, they will actively go and try to attack the player. And what I find interesting about this game is I added so each of the navies have this little base, and if players get defeated by a navy NPC, there's a chance that instead of being like winding up respawning back at the nearest like safe point, they will instead be sent to the navy's base and be imprisoned. And I thought this imprisonment mechanic would be really cool, and it fits the theme. Like you're a pirate and then you get defeated and then you go get locked up in jail. And the cool thing is that you won't know which prison that you're in. You could be like in any one of the prisons. Your teammates won't know what prison you're in. You'll still be able to see them in your party, but they won't know what prison you're in. And the cool thing is you can actually bust out of prison. It's gonna be fairly simple, fairly easy. Maybe you just make some noise, get the guard's attention, make him open the gate. You fight him, and then you can run out. All your tools and belongings will be in a chest somewhere nearby, and you just grab your tools, and then you see if you can escape. Otherwise, players can actually opt to actually try to break into the prison to rescue their comrades. And this may also be a good way to gain resources. So the resources in the game, when you like zoom in, you can see. Ooh, wrong way. You can see like little trees and little stones everywhere. Those are going to be like little mountains here and little trees. Those are going to be some of the resources that you can get in this game. So I really want players to pretty much traverse the world and gather resources that they'll use to pretty much you're gonna sell the resources. So at these major ports, they're gonna be asking for certain materials. So like this port here, they may be asking for stone, or they may be asking for like lots of fish or gems or whatever they need, like fruit. And the players can actually go out and harvest these things themselves, or where the black lines are, those could be merchant ships. That's the merchant trade routes where merchant ships can go. Players can also hijack merchant ships and take resources. And this act of like piracy increases their bounty, increases their infancy about being a pirate, so they become more famous for being a pirate. The more ships they knock off. At the same time, you can also play it safe by stealing from other players too, because this is going to be PVPVE. So you get to steal from other players. You get to steal from uh, NPCs, and that's how things go. The other interesting part about the world is that if you can see down here, it's like a little fish creature. It's like a little kraken. There's gonna be local events, so there's gonna be like a kraken in the water, and every like so often while players are in the water, it may attack, and the kraken isn't like the only creature. Um, Up north, I wanted to do have a little ghost pirate theme going on. So you have a little ghost pirates right here, little ghost pirates. They may be wandering this area up north, so you could get attacked by ghost pirates as well. Um, and that's pretty much like how the world is. Players will interact with the world. They'll get resources. They'll trade them. Certain ports will ask for certain resources, and the more players trade in that resource, like if this one over here is asking for a lot of like just say stone, and players keep trading all the stone in here, the value for stone that they're asking for goes down. So the player's actions heavily affect the economy. It affects the world. So you want to be smart about how you use the resources and what you're gonna do. And I even made a little cool list to see different things in the game. So like I said, the game's gonna be tracking like the players, the top like notorious player in the game. So the player that's being the most pirate, maybe just attacking Navy ships, stealing from merchant ships. Then you have the richest player, the player that just hoards the most gold. Then you have the player with the highest bounty. It'll be interesting if like after you get defeated by a navy, or if you get defeated by another pirate, your bounty essentially gets reset. So that player can technically like cash in on your bounty, or like the navy pretty much just eliminates your bounty, and your bounty just goes all the way back down. So you have to start all over again to make yourself to raise up your bounty, but your notorious status could still kind of stay there. And then you have like the player skill trees. So in this game, I didn't really want like levels in the game. I just want pretty much one place to just go in and immediately start getting into the game. Don't worry about like what level am I? Can I use this sword or not? Items will have special abilities and special properties depending on how they're made, but you could use them from the first time you get into the game to all the way towards like if you've done like 100 hours in the game. So like the combat tree is like duelist. You have single weapon, dual wielding, firearms, acrobatics for like evading attacks, and on the ship you have different roles. So if you're the captain and you're sailing the ship, you will be able to get little special buffs. Like you'll be able to tell wind direction, navigate a little bit better, and have better steering control and stuff as a captain. As a deckhand, you're better at repairing the ship. As a cook, whenever you make food on the ship, it has a bigger buff to it, and as a gunner, you can shoot the cannons and get do more damage. All players will be able to do everything on the ship. So like even if you're assigned as a deckhand, you can steer the ship, but you just won't get the bonuses as if you were a captain. Like if you were a captain sailing the ship, you get a lot more bonuses. If you're a deckhand sailing the ship, you'll get no bonus. Same thing. So a deckhand, you could be a cook, you can make food on the ship, but you won't get any bonuses. And the last part is, like I said, these are resources that will be tradable in the game. Players will be able to trade it with each other, and players will be able to trade it at the local market where the NPCs will be asking for the stuff. And then you have the different trade skills that can help as well, such as being a miner, lumberjack, fisherman, survivalist, which help you gather a lot of fruit and livestock, and like a carpenter or a blacksmith. You can make weapons and swords and shields and well, not shields but like weapons and stuff for for yourself, or you could make them to sell. So for this game, I really wanted players to really like jump into it immediately, group up with other players. The minute you leave one of these port towns, the safe havens for the pirates, it's automatically PvP, PVE. It's open warfare. You can attack anybody. You could steal their stuff. But the cool thing is to allow players to work together. So if you see another player, you can offer a parlay, so that you guys can become friendly with each other. And then, like, you can hurt them, they can hurt you, but anytime you want, you can exit the parlay and immediately attack them. So it's kind of good. So it's like you can make temporary alliances, and then if you want to break off the alliances, and you can also maybe make friends, build up your whole fleet of alliance. Building up your whole like alliance fleet is also a great way to play the game. And we're gonna have a lot of like local events. Like every now and then, the navy ships will build up their forces, become really big in this area, and then eventually they'll probably have an armada that will spread out and they'll start attacking more and more area of the map. So players will, they can attack each other, but at this point they might want to work together to push back the navy ships, defeat like the galleons, and on those ships will be the only times like unique weapons may be spawned. So it'll be a good idea to work together. Same thing with the Kraken. Players may want to work together if the Kraken becomes too big and too much of a threat, like it attacks too frequently, just to deal with that threat. And even the Ghost Pirates, if they become too big of a threat, you can deal with them. So that's just a little bit about it. This is just a really quick intro to like a game design of like a quick draft of game design for a pirate themed online game. If this video gets a lot more likes, I will probably do the second video and explain a little bit more on the details. Or if you have any questions, please add them to the comments below. Once again, my name is Trent, and this has been another episode of Game Talk. Thank you, and have a good day.